Sometimes people give me quotes and I ask them for a link and they never have the link. That doesn't mean they're not right, because someone had told me that people had found that rock and they had found other places that Fenn refers to, and it was well known, and I was just like, well, show me a link, and the person never showed me a link, so I was like, aha, you're wrong. And then 2 more people said, that's already been done, because I've seen it, and I had no reason to start distrusting multiple people, so okay, other people have done it. Again, a lot of people liked me going out there because they saw something they had never seen before, a video of something that was in the Forrest Fenn book, and so they liked it, and that's all that really matters. I have said before, and I'll say it again, I'm not even pretending to have an original idea. But I just do things that I find interesting in the moment, and for a lot of people that are new or haven't studied that much, maybe they look at it and they go, yeah, it's pretty cool, because I'm still learning, right? I mean, I'm still learning. It's very depressed, though. Very depressed. I said, God, Jesus, what? Yellowstone Park is, there are so many places you could start where warm waters halt and immediately go down a canyon. It's just amazing. The whole place is like that. The whole place is warm waters halting in canyons. And then, nobody knows what Homer Brown is. I'm about to do a very, very short video. I'll probably put it out very shortly right after this, because I came across it while I was doing this video while I was on the internet, and it's an interesting concept. Point 5, numeral 5, point 5 said, speaking about if you were brave and in the wood, I assume that's what he's talking about. He was talking about me being there at this rock. He said, is there wood in the water? And I said, no, there isn't. But let's always remember, there's a wood liner in the treasure chest. So, the wood liner could very well be the wood he refers to when he says, if you are brave and in the wood. Now, some people might say, well, what is brave about opening the chest and putting your hands into the jewelry or whatever and being in the wood liner? And I would say some people might interpret this entire thing as brave. I've gotten comments from more than a couple of people, and they've said, boy, you're really brave to go out and do this stuff. I'm thinking, I don't really feel like brave. I don't feel like brave in doing it. It was a little weird when I was in places like Vermilion Creek, which is this totally isolated area, and I'm out there in the middle of nowhere, and I'm walking around, but I wasn't going tremendously far from my car. The walking was a little delicate because of so many little rocks and things you could slide and fall. But I had someone that knew where I was going to be, and the rangers would come someone would have come if I hadn't gotten back to them in a certain amount of time. You should always have a backup. I didn't consider it that brave, but so for some people, actually finding this treasure may be brave. I personally don't feel that you have to be brave to find the treasure, and so I think sometimes we'll never know until it's found if wood isn't just the wood liner. The effort will be worth the cold. I always kind of think of as you're probably in the water, cold water. But then if you actually open the chest, that could be the wood. He could just be saying, you're now there. You have found it. You're in it, the wood. It's one of the last things he says about it. Someone said I needed to have more videos of the river. Sorry. Didn't Fenn say it was not underwater? Yes, but Fenn has said it's wet. And in my, that was said, by the way, by Zozo, talking about this video of me looking at the rock. I said, Zozo, the idea was that I would look up in this kind of mushroom top of the rock. The idea was that I would look up in there for maybe a hollowed out place where the water had hollowed it out, and he had maybe secured the chest up there. That was the concept. But But he has said it's wet in the past. Someone said, nice, the King said, nice work, Eric, but there is no pic of Skippy in the spread. He's talking about the 2-page spread. There's no picture of Skippy, which I actually had in a caption. I said, you'll notice there's no picture of Skippy. And also, Forrest Fenn's father's in it 3 times. For those of you looking for clues, I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, if you look at the picture of little Forrest, who was probably about 12 or 10 at the time, isn't there a sign behind him? I swear that sign says water. I always thought that was kind of interesting. Begin at where warm waters halt, and here's Fenn as a little kid standing next to a sign that says water, and I think that's all I can decipher is water. I assume maybe it's for drinking water, I don't know. Mike Markham again, Firehole River won't work for warm waters halt because there's not many. Mike Markham says Firehole River won't work for warm waters halt because there's not many. And I said, well, how many do you need? You only need one where warm waters halt. Fenn said, you oversimplify the clues. There are many places in the Rocky Mountains where warm waters halt, and nearly all of them are north of Santa Fe. Look at the big picture. There are no shortcuts. When you're in the Firehole River, when you're in Yellowstone Park, there are so many places. You have Boiling Springs River, where I believe that was where Forrest Fenn used to bathe, and they said there's a spot where you're next to the main current of the river and you can literally be in warm water and put your hand out into the main current and it's cold water. It's pretty dramatic. Yeah, Ronaldo Vasquez said on Dale's blog, I had come across someone who already visited every spot on the pictures up the Madison and ending on Watkins Creek. That rock has been searched many times. Okay, so be it. Doesn't matter to me, quite frankly. Zozo says, I think Fenn hid the treasure in a location where he and his father or brother Skippy went on an excursion and found a fishing hole. It's very easy to believe that this special spot of his is a fishing hole. He speaks about a place where he would sit and watch the ospreys and just kind of, do the Tom Sawyer thing, kind of chewing on a piece of grass on the riverbank, looking at nature, and just kind of how he was so enamored of being in that spot. And, I just think it could be that simple, but I don't know. Carrie Toes said, great video. Were you excited, nervous when you got into the water? My heart would have been skipping a beat. Yeah, I was excited. I was excited like, well, if I put my hand, if I get in this water, and the water wasn't bad, quite frankly. The water temperature, I think I had already checked on the internet. It was in the upper 40s, and the air was in the upper 40s, and the water wasn't really bad. It wasn't even that, it just wasn't that bad. I was kind of talking about, well, I get pneumonia today. Well, no, not really. It wasn't even close to that. But when I got in the water and I started feeling up in that rock, it was all solid rock. But yes, I was excited like I always am. Like, man, maybe what if I reach up there and there's this spot and I can kind of feel this, straight edge of something that feels metallic or something. I'd be like, hell yeah, it was exciting. And, but the minute I felt up there and realized the rock was solid underneath, I was kind of like, yeah, here we go again. Here I am talking to Mike Markham again. He said in some word, Fenn said he can't imagine someone getting that close and not finding the treasure chest, talking about the 12 feet. Richard Kelt said, it is an ideal burial spot. place? He said, it's an ideal burial place? No, not even close. That was a big, it was just like I was just going to go out there and check it out regardless. Yeah, it wasn't a good burial place. Sometimes I just think, well, maybe Fenn's whole concept of what he was trying to say, he wasn't using the same vernacular or something that I would use or other people would use. But I mean, he said it pretty bluntly that he would just throw himself on the treasure chest. That'd really be something you pull off. You get one of those pull-outs and get out there, and next to the river there's this big mushroom-shaped rock with this guy hanging up, dead, because the treasure chest is up in the rock. Get it? That would be weird. That'd be a story for your vacation, Yellowstone. Yeah, I found a guy dead, draped over a big rock. Uh-oh. I know something bad's going to happen whenever I hear this. Terry McKinnon. I'm trying to be as sincere as possible. I'm trying to be as sincere as possible. I really like your perseverance. And I have commented to you before. You need to regroup. Go over all information from Fenn verbatim. You are missing something important. And I'll tell you what, Terry McKernan, you are so right. I am so aware of not getting that one thing Fenn has said numerous times. You're all missing one important concept, or there's one thing people aren't figuring out. And I'm so aware of that. It's the entire way you look at the poem I'm missing. I'm missing. And I've talked about this before, that you know that if you would figure out this one thing, everything would click. You can just feel it. Just of understanding what Home of Brown is, for instance, or something. Something is not understood by all of us. 10 years now, folks. Almost 10 years of no one's finding this. People like Troy Barlow and Dale Neitzel and Jenny Kyle and a lot of other really smart people have been out there looking for this treasure and not found it. Some of them have gone on hundreds of trips. Some people live in the Rockies. For them it's easier. Other people are traveling to do it. They obviously have a lot of money because they go on so many trips, I mean. But I'm telling you, it's like, there's something, there's something we're missing. I'm missing. SMT7. Did I already say this? I like your videos. Keep up the good work. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the location. I really like your videos. And you do a really good job. But you're wrong. That's cool. I understand it. He's right. Oh, this is what I wanted to mention. Remember we were talking about Whistlebird Productions? I got distracted. So, from the rock on the side of the Madison River at the 9 Mile Hole, if you look down the river goes down towards the west entrance. West entrance of Yellowstone is literally on the edge of West Yellowstone. In other words, the town that Fenn, so for some of you already know this, but I'm just saying for those of you that don't, West Yellowstone, the small town that Fenn lived in, is right now, it's very much a tourist attraction because it's all about Yellowstone. It's all about the Rockies. It's a very cool town. I liked it. It's very kind of Western chic, but it's not a real rich town. It's just a little tourist town. And so you literally drive down Canyon Street, you take a left. I mean, if you're coming in like I did, it's not important. Anyway, Yellowstone, you just hit this road for Yellowstone, and within 5 minutes, you're at the entrance to get into Yellowstone Park. So when you go into Yellowstone Park, you drive in for a while, and then you go over this bridge, and then you go down, and you're going down to where I was, 9 Mile Hole. But before you get there, there is this kind of big plain, you know, a plain, like a big meadow. And it's very low, and the river is kind of very meandering. And this is where Whistlebird Productions had been out there looking under this big, looked like a fallen tree, and found there was nothing under it. Because it stood out. It stood out in this kind of yellow field. This kind of marshy yellow field. Now some of you are probably saying, well, yeah, but it wouldn't be a fallen tree because, you know, it's the blaze. It's supposed to last for a while. Well, I thought there was something under it, like maybe a rock. And I think Whistlebird Productions. I'm having a brain fart with this name. Whistlebird Productions. And he was cool enough to go out there and confirm that there was nothing under it. What's my point? I read the sign. You know, they usually have a sign on these pullouts that kind of give you a little history of this area that they've made a pullout. This was a seed reclamation project. They had had a huge fire. This huge fire had wiped out apparently a lot of trees. And when I was out in trees that were further up the river toward 9 Mile Hole looking for the blaze, looking for that rock that I finally found right on the side of the road, I went through these trees out to the river. It was a little bit of a walk. And there were charred trees among the trees that I was walking through. So it looked like an old forest that had burned down and there were new trees growing up. And anyway, that's what this said. This basically, when you looked over this big, vast plain there, you were looking at a reseeding project because of a forest fire that occurred in the reseeding project. I think they said was 1988, so it had been quite a while. So, a blaze. Yeah, you can think of anything all the time.